What are the advantages, and on the flip side, are there disadvantages, and what are they, of being a woman entrepreneur?
Well, again, what you were just speaking to with 89% of Etsy sellers being women, the female community is incredibly supportive. I mean, especially on Instagram, there's this whole mentality of community over competition, and it's been incredible. I mean, I've been a musician, and it's not like that. But as a visual artist and with my online store, the other sellers are very supportive, because if one person is succeeding, then the other person succeeds. I mean, if we're pricing our listings similarly, then people are making decisions based on the look and feel that they like, based on the talent, as opposed to sort of the race to the bottom of who can price it the least. But the biggest advantage, just getting back to the question, is that the women that I've met have been incredibly supportive. My Etsy mentor is a woman, and she's been incredible. And I hope that eventually I can pay it forward as well. On the flip side of that, and I'm not sure that I'm speaking for all women here, I'm speaking for myself as a female business owner, is that I find myself to be incredibly emotionally invested in my clients. Whether it's just an email correspondence or it's, I'm delivering things for the day of the wedding, I'm emotional about the interaction. I want it to be perfect. I mean, the things that I'm making are from my hands, so it's innately personal in and of itself what I'm doing, but also the types of events that I'm creating things for are really special, and I want everything to be perfect. And I am not sure if that's singularly because I'm a woman, but I definitely know that I'm more sympathetic, I think, because I'm a woman. But I guess the point that I would make is that's emotionally draining, and it can be a disadvantage for sure.
So to add on to everything that you said, which I agree with totally, I think that whether you realize it or not, you stand out. So as a young minority and female entrepreneur and engineer in a technology world, you stand out. And so with standing out, that's both a very high advantage as well as a disadvantage. Advantage meaning because you stand out, that's great, because you get to have that edge and you get to stand out, you get to be different. And so when you're in a room, that's awesome. At the same time, by standing out, I believe strongly that you have a higher level of criticism. And that comes both from what I was surprised to find, honestly, that comes both from men as well as other women, which is an interesting thing that I found. And that's kind of, I think, the big thing for me. And I'll go from there.
Yeah, I'll kind of agree with what you've said. I think all of us, when we're working and have worked, for me, as long as I have, you're very passionate and believe in what you believe in, and so I'm very invested in my clients too. So when things go awry, I tend to get very angry when I need to just let it go. But I think, being a woman today and working and having your own sense of self and your own you're responsible for yourself, you're making your own income, etc. We're at a point where we can establish our own legacies. And so being a woman as a business owner means that to me. I hope that my son, who graduated from USC 2 years ago, will come to work with me and will continue this. He is in marketing, but he needed to go work for somebody else and then come back to me, because he needed to understand the infrastructure of work, I think, first, but he's doing fine. But, and he is gainfully employed, and that is what USC does do. And, but he didn't graduate from business either, he's from Annenberg, so, but either way. So my point is, we're at a point where we create our own futures, create our own destinies, and certainly create legacy. One of the things I find with women, too, is that we're more collaborative. I can sit down with women and have a project at the table, and women are ready to listen and dig in, and the men want to do things very differently. They have a different approach, but women will be more collaborative and give more so. And so I think those are some of the great advantages. Some of the disadvantages, I think people underestimate women still. I have been in rooms, like you say, as a minority female, you stand out, this, that, or the other, whatever, perceptions and stereotypes and all that stuff, and you can be as bright and know so much more. So sometimes there's this underestimation, and you really have to make yourself, you have to go, wait a minute now, and however you do that. Not that you put somebody off, but you have to make sure you convey that you know what you're talking about.